Good morning, guys. I have to preface this by saying that this is a little bit into the future for a couple different reasons. But I wanted to let everybody know here that, much like most people, everybody has New Year's resolutions. Mine just happened to start a little bit early, and it is I would like to lose some weight. So um, I did already start the program that I'm on, which I will kind of go over everything that I'm doing. But I wanted to make sure that it was something that I was doing for me, not just for the channel or anybody else, including my family. It's strictly for me. I wanted to make sure that I would stick with it and just be held, hold myself accountable. Um, so I have been doing it for a month now, and results so far are pretty good. Um, when I started this weight loss program, I was 225 pounds, which is not the heaviest I've ever been. I actually hit 230 at one point during 2020, which that's no surprise because it's 2020. Um, and I want to be back down to like 185, 180, somewhere in that range, which I know if you follow the BMI charts, that's still like, oddly enough, that's still borderline obese. But that's for me feeling healthy and my body type. That's kind of where I want to be. Um, so I started, eating better, or not necessarily eating better. I started watching what I eat, and not eating in abundance. I started two apps, which I'll go over as well. And again, it's I started weighing myself every day. Um, so right now, as of this morning, I'm down to 209.4, 209 pounds. Yeah, 209.4 pounds. So I was at 208, which was exciting, but weight fluctuates a couple pounds every day, so I kind of expected that. Um, but I am consistently losing weight. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, and a couple things that are I'm using to guide me through this whole new me, if you will, is I signed up for Noom. And I want to also say that the apps that I'm using I'm in no way sponsored by them. I subscribe to them. I pay for them out of my own pocket. So anyway, I started Noom, and pretty cool app. I like the calorie tracking in it. I've only encountered a couple foods that I could not find in it to be able to track, and I had to enter in the calorie counts and everything manually. But um, it it teaches you, like the commercials say. I mean, I'm not going to make this a commercial for Noom, but like the commercials say, it kind of teaches you. It doesn't tell you what to eat or how to eat, and don't ask questions, which is, in my opinion, why most diets fail. Um, most people want to know why they're doing something, and if there's no good reason behind it, it's not something that can stick. Whereas, it apparent, with Noom, a month into this, it would seem that they teach you why certain foods are bad for you, why your body prefers certain foods over ones that don't have as much flavor. But and about what things you should be eating instead of this. And that, one of their big things is no food is a bad food. It's just how much of that bad food do you eat? I mean, some people will say I'm crazy because I started this diet right before the holidays. I continued to lose weight through the holidays because I didn't eat, I didn't engorge myself basically on Thanksgiving or Christmas lunches and dinners and all the snacks that come with it. I just watched how much I actually put on my plate. And a big thing for me, if anybody was raised in a household like mine, it wasn't a thing like you had to eat everything on your plate, but I was primarily raised by my grandparents, and they were Depression era people who, nothing was wasted. So there was a lot of guilt. If they were alive, my grandmother probably smacked me if she heard me say that. But there was a lot of guilt. If I ever said I didn't want something, they immediately went to, what, you don't like it? When it could have been something that I ate 1,000 times before. They just didn't, nothing went to waste. Everything was saved, and, you tried to eat everything on your plate. And that is so deeply ingrained in me that, now I'm a married man with a family, and I would eat everything on my plate. If my kids had stuff left on their plate, I would eat what was on their plate. And I could eat so much and not necessarily feel full. And that's, again, going back to Noom, that's one of the things that it kind of teaches you is like why your body feels that way, and why your brain tells you that you have eaten all this stuff, but you still need to eat, because your body is requesting certain nutrients to be put into it. So, it goes through all those processes, and, you can become a Noom master. I personally am still a Noom novice because I just started a month ago. There's 2 to 4 minute little tidbits of wisdom that you can go through. They're very easy. And then once you start getting deeper into the program, you're assigned a coach, which is an actual live person, not just a robot saying, hey, go get them. You're doing great. It's an actual person that checks in. My Noom coach her name is Nicole. She checks in once a week to see how I'm doing. If I need anything, which the cool thing was that, I didn't fully understand like the food grading, because foods are graded from green to yellow to red. I didn't fully understand it because depending on the source, say you were eating oatmeal, depending on the source of where that oatmeal was from, it could make it a yellow food or it could make it a green food. So I needed her to kind of explain to me. And not only did she do that, she also sent me this huge list of what foods fall into what categories. It's pretty detailed. So, and there's no extra cost for that. It's just part of the subscription, which I believe was $149 or $169. It was a Black Friday deal per year. So far, I mean, it's, the Noom application is going great. That's something that I'm going to continue with. And, who knows, maybe one day I'll become a Noom master. I don't know what comes with that, but I'll continue pushing along. And, again, that's stuff, it teaches you stuff that you can take with you, like when you're out to eat. Because you can't survive not eating out and not eating, like, splurging once in a while for some type of treat, a tasty cake or a bowl of ice cream. Nobody can do that. Unless you're, like athlete, like LeBron James level of athlete, where you have a dietitian and somebody that's telling you like, hey, you got to eat this because you have, these things coming up. Average Joe Blow, such as myself, can't do that. Just don't have the funds, number one. And number two, I don't have the time. I mean, I have 2 kids that, my wife corrals most of the time, and I try to help out wherever I can. But at the same time, like there's days when we're driving back from an amusement park and they're yelling, we're hungry. I'm certainly not going to wait until I get home to cook dinner. We're going to probably stop at McDonald's or something like that and get food, and I will get something from there. I just have to track that and kind of know that this is what I can eat out of this whole thing. That's most of the questions, or most of what I have to say about the Noom app. If anybody has any questions regarding Noom, please feel free to comment down below, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. Secondly, a big part of that is to try and save money, and try and know what I'm eating, or at least the nutrients that I'm putting into my body. I subscribe to Sunbasket, It is a meal. I hate to say it's a meal box, but it's a meal subscription service that sends, I subscribe to 2 meals a week. So it's 2 meals a week, and each meal is 2 servings. Excuse me. So far, it's been pretty good. The actual recipe selections are very good. It is a little bit pricey, but the portions are a lot bigger than what they show. And I'm going to have a whole separate playlist that goes over, that will show me cooking some of these meals. There are a couple that I am not going to film just because, again, I sometimes run out of time. But there are a couple different ones that show, like what is in the actual recipe. Then most of them are fairly simple to cook. I am on, let's see, I'm trying to remember the pricing. It's for the 2 meals per week for 2 people. It's $12.99 per serving. So, I mean, you're paying upwards of $60 a week for the food. Like I said, it is pricey. They do have other options. So they do have a 3 meal per week option, which is about $80 per week. Which if I find something that I want, I will sometimes add it to that 3rd meal. Or if I know that, for whatever reason that week, I'll have a little extra time to cook that additional meal, I will get the 3rd meal. But again, for me, like you'll see in some of my cooking videos, that the servings are so large that you're always going to have leftovers, especially if it's only you cooking for you. Which in my case it is. My kids are super picky eaters. My wife doesn't like she's not a picky eater, but most of the stuff that's in these recipes is stuff that she typically won't eat. And again, it's a little tough because you're just trying to find, if you have kids, especially little ones like we have, it's just tough to find time to sit down and actually eat a meal or cook a meal and then eat it. I remember the days of my, grandparents again, doing that. I never knew how they did it. My grandmother would make these big, large, extravagant dinners, and we would all sit down and eat together as a family. And I think that kind of has fallen apart. If anybody still does that, let me know. I'm curious, but I know in our world, we can't find 5 minutes to sit down as a family and do something without somebody yelling at somebody or something else having to be done or some event to go to. So, but anyway, back to the meals. So in my case, my meals are delivered once a week on Mondays, which they come sometime in like the late afternoon. Everything is packaged very well. I know other people have had issues with some other meal plan or meal boxes or meal subscription services, where stuff will come bad, but I haven't had any of that. Everything has been fresh. Nothing's been rotten or, tasted bad at all. So, I mean, it's been pretty good. I will say that the app is very nice, because you can you can see what you're getting. You can see when it's going to be delivered. You can modify your selections up to a week in advance. You can also skip meals. So if something happens and you're going to be out of town and you're not going to be able to get that meal, you can actually you can go in and there's one button that says, skip this meal, and it'll ask for how long. You want to skip it for a week, or I think it's up to 6 weeks you can do. So it's kind of nice if for whatever reason, you can't do it. You can also change your delivery day. So like I said, my day was on Mondays. You can do Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesdays, for deliveries. So I like Mondays just because that's the beginning of my week. So I would get all my meals on Mondays, and then I would cook those, start one Monday night and then probably do one Wednesday night, and then another one on Friday night if I got 3 that week. If I didn't, I would do one Tuesday night and Thursday night. So I would try to have them all cooked within that week, which is about when they say, stuff is pretty much good for. I wouldn't let it go past 1 week unless you're going to freeze some stuff. So, again, I know I kind of just threw out a lot of random information. I didn't have a script for this or a plan for this. This was just something that I've wanted to do for a long time for myself. So, I wanted to get a month into it here and make sure that I'm holding myself accountable when it's actually so far productive. And I wasn't just doing it because I wanted to get content for the channel or because of, other outlying reasons. I just wanted to make sure that staying healthy is going to be a priority for me. And so far it's working. I'm going to start doing, I guess some more videos about cooking the food or cooking the food from Sunbasket. I'm also going to start just looking up recipes wherever I can, or just trying to make up some recipes. Because again, going back to Noom, it's not about like, this is what you eat because you should eat it. It's this is what you eat because because your body is requesting it, and this is why. So, I'm starting to learn those things, and I'm starting to learn about what I can cook and not what I can cook, what I can cook and eat. Not just find on the shelf and, throw into my face, which is kind of how I was before, because that's what most of us are, especially when you're limited on time. So, again, I apologize if this seems random or scattered, but, keep looking for more content from me specifically. I know we do a lot of family related stuff. We try to do just our life, but this is going to be just me mainly talking about, my weight loss journey and things that I'm cooking, things that I'm doing right and wrong. It's not going to be all positives. I'm sure there's going to be days when I'm gaining weight, or days like on one of my kids' birthdays or something, or my birthday, which is coming up, when I'm eating, a giant slice of cake and I feel horrible about it, but that's part of life. So appreciate you guys hanging out with me today, and again, keep an eye out for this channel, and we'll have more content up. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.